MAINOO MAGIC at Old Trafford holds Liverpool to a 2-2 draw.
Aimed of absolute beauty from Kobe Mainu.
Wins for Arsenal and Manchester City swayed momentum in the title challenge.
Leandro Trossard has just confirmed that Arsenal are going top.
More point deductions for Everton as the relegation battle heats up.
The time for fault and blame is gone. You know, it's the way society works, and everyone's fault and blame for everything. You know, but I think we've got to park it.
Hello guys, welcome back to BoreDraw, episode number 92. Today we're bringing you a discussion about something that occurred at Old Trafford.
The title
Liverpool,
race.
Mate, the title race was blown wide open as Liverpool drew against Manchester United.
I predicted that to happen.
Yeah,
Luke
you
did
did.
not. Check out our predictions, the title run-in predictions video, and our post on Instagram and Twitter, where we kind of outline our predictions for who's going to win the title and who's going to win the run-in. But yeah,
I mean, you predicted it, which was pretty nuts. I think, for me, the reason I went for a Liverpool win was the fact that they have access to better players than they did in the FA Cup game.
a lot better form as well.
So the players coming back from injury, I think Salah, who else did they have coming back in?
Oh, well, they had
Szoboszlai.
Yeah, but no Konate last
Robertson.
minute change to Kwanzaa.
Yeah, and so I thought Liverpool would have a much better showing. I think they'd have a little bit more fire in their belly because they would want to make up for mainly knocking them out of the FA Cup. And for the most part, they did.
The first half, Liverpool were dominant.
However, yeah, it was...
Man United was so bad.
And Man United, they held 30 shots against Brentford.
Well, that's why
And
I
then-
understand why you'd say Liverpool would win
Yeah.
this game, because
And
Man
then-
United have dropped... In
Throughout-
1 week now, they've dropped 7 points from winning positions.
It's nuts. And throughout the game, the pundits were going, that's Onana's 479,000th shot he's faced this season. And
Well, I think now they have conceded the most shots in the Premier League this season.
it's ridiculous,
Big
mate.
Man United.
And like with the quality of player that Liverpool have, you can't let them have that many shots. But apparently you can. Judging by the output of this game, you can.
First half, Liverpool had 15 shots.
Man United had 0 XG in the first
And they
half.
were so bad, Man United. I tweeted at half-time. I was like, Liverpool need... Or just before half-time, I tweeted, Liverpool need to get another goal. Because
mate.
there's no way after half-time Man United can be as bad as they were in the first half. And they weren't.
No, they weren't. And everyone was saying it. Liverpool need this second goal because you could just see what was going to happen if they didn't. And Man United had breaks where they looked a little bit dangerous. Garnacho, I think, is quite, I like Garnacho a lot.
Yeah,
actually.
same.
Rashford was all right. Højlund's good. But it was still lackluster for Man United. And they were dominated for the first half. But Liverpool have no one else to blame apart from themselves because they
100%.
couldn't put it in the back of the net.
Yep.
I mean, I don't really have anything else to say about it. They were lucky to come away with a point. Jarrell Kwanzaa makes a horrendous mistake.
Saw a tweet and it was a good one. This is going to have big consequences
Consequences,
for their title charge.
But unfortunately, he's a young player who's performed so admirably and to such a high level in every time he's been called upon. But he's a young player and they're going to make mistakes.
He's a young boy.
And unfortunate for him that the person who picked up on his mistake was Bruno Fernandez, who's going to have a hit first time from way outside the penalty area.
He's like pretty much, halfway line.
And Kelleher's caught off his line. And it's a great finish. And it's one of those things.
Yeah, let's talk about Man United then, because like I said earlier, they've dropped 7 points in 1 week. Obviously, to get a draw against Liverpool is a good result, but they were winning. And stupid tackle by Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, they've dropped 7 points in 1 week from winning positions. And Ten Hag came out after the game and he was like, I'm impressed with the boys. The only reason we didn't get all the points today was because of our own mistakes, blah, blah, blah. And that, while that is true, he can't look at that first half and think the mistakes that they made to concede the goals are the main problem here. Mistakes happen. The main problem here is that
You're holding 50 shots a game.
that is literally it. And
How could you be big Man United, yeah? How could you be a professional football manager and look at yourself in the morning, yeah, and be like, yes, last night we drew 1-1 against Bournemouth.
Brentford.
And No, but I just mean in general.
Oh, okay.
Like but we held 50 shots against them, but we came out with a point. That's good. Mate, you're a fucking football manager. You're meant to be, you've managed Ajax, in the Champions League. You've taken Man United from like 4th to 4th, mate. Like, horrendous. Like, where is the progression here?
No, it's so bad.
The on-field play isn't looking any better than it has for the last 2 seasons.
It looks worse.
You brought in personnel, you shifted big names, and you're nowhere further on the line. There's more questions here than answers after every game. How can you be fucking Erik ten Hag, a big bald fraud looking in the mirror, pretending that you look getting better every game, lying to your fans, lying to the people who pay money week in, week out to watch their team?
He's actually said some pretty heated things. He said if you can't see there's progress, you must be blind. And I'm kind of thinking,
mate, he's deluded.
This is the worst in terms of style of play I've seen Man United under his tenure. Like he arrived without any input, the football was better, and like the more input he's had, the football is gradually getting worse.
The only bit I can say is better is that Garnacho looks like a better player than he did half a year ago.
The kids are in.
But he's young. He's obviously going to look better with more games. Hoyland looks like a good signing.
The kids are in.
And
Bala lad, he was all right.
Yeah, he was good. Kobe Mainoo's been a revelation. But these aren't things to do with Erik ten Hag. No. Maybe apart from the signing of Rasmus Hoyland and the fact that he's brought Garnacho into the team. But I think Garnacho was in the team slightly before he was there.
And I think the two kind of swords that he's going to die by are the fact that they're conceding the most shots in the Premier League, and we're 6 games away from the end of the season.
Bear in mind, you've got Burnley and Sheffield United who've got like a minus 90 goal difference.
So that's already bad enough. And then, like he said, he even came out and said, we've dropped 7 points in 1 week. That's not good enough. This game, yes, it's Liverpool. But the Chelsea game, you were
97th minute, you were 3-2
up. And you lose that game. The Brentford one, the 96th minute, you're 1-0 up. You draw that game. What is going on here?
It's ridiculous. It's a lack of ability to close out games. It's a lack of impetus in the first place, because you're putting yourself in these positions where you conceded however many shots on target. Somehow you're fortunate enough to go into these games late on, and you've somehow got a lead, which is fine. That's fine. But then just lack of game management. And I don't understand how this can be happening, because it's not like you've got just young players riddled throughout your team. You've got Bruno Fernandez experience, Casemiro experience, Andre Onana playing the Champions League final. Yeah, Marcus Rashford, he's like 30 years old now, mate. Or 20.
Well, let's talk about Casemiro. Like, he is the biggest waste of space. You see how he's just like running around the pitch like he's got fucking cinder blocks on his leg. He's so slow. There was one point where he was getting outrun by Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai's not quick, but he made him look like bloody prime Adama Traore.
It looks like he's just running through quicksand.
Oh, it's mad. He's so bad. And then I tweeted this as well during the game. Bruno Fernandez, yes, he scored a screamer, but he just has 0 characteristics of a good captain.
You say it week in, week out. What does he offer as a captain?
0. When you're conceding shots, when your heads are down, you can't look to him, because he'll be throwing his hands around like a little
look at it like this,
whiny bastard.
If you're a referee and you're stuck on a decision, you don't know which way to give it, right?
Yeah.
and referees get bullied into decisions. We know they do. But if it's Bruno Fernandez
whining in your ear,
you're very unlikely to give it to him,
100%.
because he's not going to do nothing, and he looks like a rat, and he acts like a rat. Back in the day, Vincent Kompany, he walks up to you, you're going to shit yourself. The difference is there. Give it to someone, like, you can't even give it to like Harry Maguire just because he's big.
There is actually no one in that team I'd give the captaincy to. Man United fans, let us know in the comments, if you could strip Bruno Fernandes of his captaincy, who would you give the captaincy to?
Yeah, actually, who would you give it to? Because it's not
give it Johnny Evans, mate.
Are just like they're just soft.
There's a problem for all of them, and then the ones that don't have a problem are like 19 years old. And you're not going to give them.
Give it Kobe Mainoo, mate.
Genuinely.
Or Scott McTominay, McSauce.
While we're on Kobe Mainoo, obviously scored an absolute screamer. What a player! And so I mentioned Bruno Fernandes scored a screamer, and I think that's another thing that Ten Hag is getting away with murder. The reason he's in games is not because he's some tactical genius and his Man United team are playing well. He's just lucky that he's got players in that team that are
quality,
responsible enough and good enough quality that they'll occasionally do a madness. Bruno, he didn't have a good game, but he's good enough to score that opportunity. Not a lot of players on that pitch would be able to take a first-time shot from the halfway line and
mate, if
lob a
Casemiro
keeper.
takes that, it's going into Rose.
Yeah. You're lucky Bruno Fernandez is good enough to do that. Kobe Mainu, you're lucky he's good enough to do that. But apart from that, you haven't coached enough into this team to make me think, oh yeah, they're a good team. But it's just moments of quality from good players.
The problem is, you want to become the best transitional team in the world, but you haven't got the players there to do it. Kobe Mainu is excellent in transition because he's quick on the half turn. He'll take the ball from deep and play a ball up the pitch, and he's progressive. Casemiro's not progressive. Rashford's not progressive. He wants to get in behind. Rasmus Højlund, he's a hold-up striker, but he's not like a Bobby Firms.
No.
He's not a Gabriel Jesus. He's not about his interplay, is he?
No.
He wants to be on the end of it. Bruno Fernandez, 100% is a possession-based player. He needs to be able, his team to have the ball, to dominate the ball, to pull players out of positions so he can find the spaces in which he can create opportunities and also be on the end of opportunities. But being this quick transitions team, it's not going to happen. The only players that you've got that are decent transition, you're looking at Alejandro Garnacho and Kobe Mainu.
Also, that's not the style of play he had at Ajax. And I know he came out a while ago and said, I want a different style of play to the Ajax style of play. But you got hired because of your Ajax style of play. Why would you ditch that and try to do this transitional thing, which you've never done, clearly not very good at? Makes no sense.
I mean, the question is, like a lot of people are saying Ten Hag is going to be gone at the end of the season. I think there's too much. He's had too much stock put into him.
Yeah.
To allow it to go. He's got to be given another, season probably.
Especially if they win the FA Cup or whatever.
But I mean, if Liverpool lose Jurgen Klopp, replace him with Ruben Amorim, and Amorim does well, the question's got to be asked: how Man United gone through like 6 managers, or like 10 managers since Fergie? And not had one. Yeah. Not had one.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's ridiculous. And the question is who? Who wants to go there? Because that's a job and a half. And yeah. But what does this mean for the title race? Well, Jurgen Klopp said that if...
He was bigging up the boys.
Mate, he said if Arsenal... Well, Arsenal, he said they're a good football team. And if United play like they did today, Arsenal will win 100%. And I have to agree.
Well, yeah,
hey, mate, Arsenal will not let 30 shots go without scoring 4.
Yeah, and this is, do you know, like throughout this title race, or throughout this season really, I've been saying I haven't seen Man United dominate a football game, but I haven't seen Liverpool dominate a football game. And this kind of highlights it. Yes, Liverpool were good in this game, but they had periods where they concede chances. You can see by the momentum bar that we're looking at, second half was pretty 50-50. And
until Man United went 2-1 up in the Liverpool shit the bed and went all over.
But that's why I haven't been majorly worried about Liverpool in this running, because I think they concede too many chances.
Well, this is why for me Arsenal are the favourites, because Liverpool throughout the season I think they had 27 points now, one back from losing positions. Liverpool need to kick up the arse before they even get into gear. Arsenal don't let that happen. Arsenal don't want to even give anyone a sniff. They strangle teams, and they don't just do it where they get one goal here and win the game. They strangle teams and they compress them into outside their like 16-yard box or whatever, and then they're like, that's it. Just generate chance after chance after chance, and the quality of chance that Arsenal generate is so much better than what Liverpool do. Liverpool at the end, when they get into that final third, sometimes they have like a 4-on-2, and that final pass is never there. It's so rarely there. It's a little bit too much dilly-dallying on the ball. Luis Diaz, I think he's a great player, but he has some decision-making issues. He tries to do everything himself.
Yeah, they all do.
He's like, when you used to play in the playground, you got the one kid who's actually really good, but he just hogs the ball, and he runs himself into trouble. He'll find himself in the corner. Instead of passing it backwards, he'll try work his way out the corner. It's constant. It's constant. Arsenal was so selfless.
Yeah, for me, I think, like you said, I think Liverpool in this title race will rue missing chances. And I think, as much as I think Mo Salah's quality, I think his form's dipped off a little bit. And what Liverpool had kind of earlier in the season was games where they're all right, but Salah was at his tip-top form and would finish chances. Salah, since coming back from AFCON, I don't think he's been at the heights.
He often dips off after AFCON.
And so I think with him not hitting the heights, like, you'd have an average game, but he'd score a couple. Now, without him there to take the chances, who have they got that's a clinical finisher, really?
Darwin Núñez, not clinical.
At all.
Cody Gakpo, not clinical. Luis Diaz, not clinical. The only clinical finishers in their team are Mohamed Salah and Diego Jota. But even Salah, I think the game beforehand against Brighton, he had like 8 opportunities and didn't score in the first like half.
I think from what I've heard, Jota is pretty much back, so that'll be a
I think
plus
him and
for
Trent
Liverpool.
are back in
Yeah,
training.
that'll be a plus for Liverpool. So
yeah, I mean, the fortunate thing for Liverpool is that they didn't drop all 3 points. They managed to come away with a point. They're still in and around the title race.
yeah, I was going to say, I'll hit you with it. Do you still think they'll win the title? You had them in our prediction video to win the title. What do you reckon?
When we went through the results, I had them winning, but
then you had them drawing against Fulham.
Yeah,
could you just reverse that? And
well,
have a win?
that's it.
Yeah.
I don't see them losing a game. I don't think I had any of the teams losing the game apart from Arsenal against Man United, which for some reason
blasphemy.
It's crazy delusion. I had to throw something in there different. But when you every week, I'm more certain Arsenal win the league.
Well, it's like one of those things because Arsenal will bottle it, blah blah blah. That's kind of what you're waiting for. That's what everyone's waiting for. But every week, like
you just look better and better,
better and better. Like, well, let's move on to Arsenal briefly. We'll talk about Arsenal and Man City because both got a win. But Arsenal's was interesting because I've said on the pod I was a little bit worried going into the Brighton game. You mentioned that last season we lost to Brighton at this time of the season. We fucking murdered them, mate. They had chances. I mean, they're a good team, Brighton, but we just, like you said, we just suffocate teams.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, you're up there with probably the greatest Premier League defenses in.
Yeah, if we didn't have that little slack period before Christmas where we lost to Fulham, drew against West Ham, or lost to West, we had like a little slack period. If we didn't have that, genuinely, I reckon we'd give Chelsea's conceding thing up for a run for their money.
Yeah, I mean,
because we conceded 9 in 3 games.
Going forward, it's ridiculous as well. Yeah. I mean, like you've got players like Saka who maybe had not the best form recently, but
everybody else is stepping up.
Like Kai Havertz, he's got 9 goals this season. Like his best goal scoring return.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous. And for me, if Arsenal win the league, it's purely on merit. It's not because anyone else slipped up. If Man City win the league, it's now because Arsenal slipped up.
Yeah, well, Arsenal and Liverpool slipped up. Yeah,
but Arsenal won it purely on merit, and as much as it pains me to say that they deserved it.
Yeah, and let's talk about Man City, who got a 4-2 win against Crystal Palace. Why I think they don't deserve it, because if they win the league, like more times or not, you deserve it. But they are conceding goals.
When we did our predictions, though, I'll run through the last 7 games. Each and every team was around the 90-point mark. I think we had the winning team on 90 something.
I actually did the post. So you had
92,
90, 87 for Man City, and I had 90, 89.
Yeah,
which is mental.
So at 90 points, if you go back through Premier League history, back to 92,
that gets you,
how many seasons does that win you the league?
That gets you money. Yeah.
Even 80+ points. It's ridiculous. So that is just where we're at.
But Man
City conceding goals, but they just
they blow teams out of the water, and they've obviously got Kevin De Bruyne who can score bangers.
The scary thing for me, if I was an Arsenal fan, is the fact that the week before, midweek, they rested Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland, and then Phil Foden stepped up, got a hat-trick.
Yeah.
Would they win 4-1? 4-0?
4-1.
This weekend, they rested Phil Foden, brought back in Kev, brought back in Haaland. Haaland gets his first goal in like a few games, back in the score sheet. I think it's his first away goal in like 10 games or something.
Yeah.
And, it was surprised that they didn't take off Kevin De Bruyne for me to rest against Real Madrid. But the issue is, the scary part is that the depth there is mad.
The depth
and
there is
Jack
mad.
Grealish has come back. He's looked really good. He's looked really interested.
Yeah.
And for me, it's going to come down to European games. Even Liverpool's
100%.
European games. Liverpool, I think, got Atalanta on Thursday.
Yep.
Who good side. I mean,
it's going to be juicy, mate.
Arsenal have got Bayern Munich. That's nuts. 2 legs, mate. 2 legs. It's Bayern Munich. Man City have Real Madrid. 2 legs. It's going to be a lot of effort. It's going to take a lot.
Pub for the football?
Yeah.
We'll go to the pub.
It's just a lot of effort, mate. It's a lot of stuff.
Well, yeah, it's going to be carnage. And like we said, it could all come down to Spurs. Spurs have a ginormous say in this title race.
Spurs, Villa, I think, and Wolves play all of them.
Yeah, it's going to be big. It's going to be juicy. Let us know in the comments down below who you think is going to succeed and take home the Premier League. Let's go to the other end of the table, mate. Come on.
Swishing it up.
We don't often talk about the other end. But
the other end is so exciting. It's so exciting.
Big news has occurred as we record. Everton have been deducted another 2 points. What the hell is going on?
Mate,
If I was Everton, I'd lose my head.
It's ridiculous. These sanctions need to stop coming in during the season now.
How can you, as a manager, plan? Like, I know you can never be like too certain. They are still in a relegation battle right now, but you can kind of take it easy and ease the boys and be like, as long as we get one result, we'll be fine. But then you just never know, and so you could be like, oh, let's get one result. You get that result, everybody eases off, and then bosh, 2 games later, you're back down in relegation.
Well, the issue is that these sanctions are happening during the season. It's not helpful for anyone.
No.
I mean, I guess if you're like a Luton fan...
Apart from the teams that you compete with. Yeah,
no, but even still, it's that you might not even know if you're relegated or not until after the season's finished now. Because Forest are not going to have their hearing done until the end of May or whatever it's going to be. And it is ridiculous how they've got different boards, different commissions, giving out different sanctions.
Yeah.
How is this working? There needs to be one governing body. Yeah, that's not the FA. An external footballing governing body who have no interest in the matter, who say, right, well, you've overspent by £45 million over this 3-year cycle. That equates to a 1 point deduction per £15 million spent. So you get a 3 point deduction. How have they? I think they've done it for like, I haven't looked into it too much because it's only just happened. But it's a softer penalty for a harsher indictment. And so we don't know what's going to happen with Forest.
No.
That's all up in the air. And then you've got teams like Chelsea, like Man City, you have 115
that was my main point. Is that I know it's harder to do Man City's deduction or whatever punishment because of the amount of charges.
If there is a punishment.
But it should be done chronologically. You can't do more recent ones until you've sorted out older ones, surely.
The problem is, is that, right, so Everton, what do they have? It was a 6 point or 10 point deduction? I can't remember.
Yeah, it was a 10 point reduced to 6.
Or reduced to 8.
Reduced to 6.
Reduced to 6.
And now it's 8 because they've got another 2. And Forest have had a 4.
Forest had a 4. They might get more. It's all like, and like, there's no transparency here. How are they working this out? How are they working out the sanctions? Like, give it to us plain and simple. And I think if this was sorted out before the season, no one has any qualms about it. Everton start on a -10. If you said Everton start on a -10 and that's it then, that's happy days. Everyone knows where they stand. It's the constant moving around. You're trying to like turn football into some sort of Excel spreadsheet.
Everton got a massive 1-0 win against Burnley on the weekend. A relegation 6-pointer.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much turned into 1 point because they've lost 2 points.
Yeah. Well, this is where it leaves us now. So Sheffield United are all but doomed, sitting on 16 points with a -52 goal difference, as I alluded to earlier.
Not even get
82 goals conceded.
Let's not even pretend like they're in a relegation battle. They're gone.
Burnley, who have looked better in recent weeks, and unfortunately lost to Everton on the weekend, but they're all but doomed. 90 points.
Unless some nutty point deductions happen, I think Burnley are out.
Yeah, if they'd beaten Everton, they would be on 22 points and 3 points off Forest and 3 points off Luton.
Yeah.
So that would have been it. But for me, I think they're doomed now. Luton, big 2-1 win over Bournemouth, leaves them on 25 points, joint points with Nottingham Forest, who could face further points deductions. Forest got slapped by Spurs. And then Brentford, 29 points. Everton,
29 points.
29 points.
But not anymore, 27 points.
Oh, this isn't included. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're... Crystal Palace on 30 points. If you're Brentford and Crystal Palace, take a serious look at yourself right now, because you are 3 points above a team who have been deducted 8 points.
Yeah. I think Crystal Palace might just be lucky that there are 5 teams or 6 teams that are worse. But Brentford could get sucked in.
I can't see Burnley and Luton picking up more than 6 points in the next 7, or how many games left? 6 games.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I could see Luton doing it,
6 points.
Yeah.
Burnley picked up 19. Yeah, but even if Luton do, Forest and Brentford are more likely to go down than Everton or Palace.
Oh yeah, I think Palace are fine.
But like,
I think Brentford. I don't like Brentford. I have no
I'm not
kind
being
of
funny,
opinion
but how
on them.
could this man be fighting a relegation battle and being touted for the Liverpool job?
Yeah, it's mental.
It's nuts.
He has done a job, to be fair.
Yeah, he has. But like, let's not pretend that they're not in a relegation battle.
Oh no, 100%.
Rob Edwards looks like a better appointment than.
Out of all them form-wise, they've got the worst form apart from Sheffield United, Brentford.
It's not saying much, is it? But yeah, no wins in
No wins in 6. So it's not looking good for Brentford. I think they could get sucked in. Off the dome with no... Oh, let's just do this before we make our predictions. So this is the Premier League's percentage chance of relegation. This was Everton pre the 2-point deduction, so their percentage is a bit higher. So they've got Sheffield United as a 99.7% chance of getting relegated, which is pretty much what we said. We said they're done. Burnley, 98.2% chance. We pretty much said they're done. And then it gets techie. Luton, 61.9%. Bearing in mind, this hasn't included Everton's move down positionally. Nottingham Forest, 33.3%. Brentford, 1.8%. Everton, 2.4%. It's techie down there.
We need a running graphic for this so I can see who they've all got. But Luton, I think they've got so much fight in them. They are the best team out of that bottom 6 to watch.
Yeah, 100%.
I think Forest will be all right, barring another point deduction.
I'm going to be crazy and say Brentford.
For me, Palace, I think...
Although they did just drew 3-0 against Aston Villa, which is a good result.
Crystal Palace, yeah, without a win since a 3-0 victory against Burnley like 2 months ago.
Glasner's first game.
It's nuts. And I know Elise's back now, and they played City, so Elise played 20 minutes or so. I think apparently he looked really good when he came on.
I think Palace will be fine. They've got too many good players, and they've accumulated just enough points already to be safe.
And I think if they pick up 2-3 more points, I think they're fine. One win, I think they're fine. 33 points will do it for you this season, I think.
I think it's Brentford, you know.
But
I think... I won't say who's going to go down.
No, well, yeah, it's Burnley, Sheffield United.
I'm going to say, I don't know who's going down, but I reckon Luton are safe. That's what I mean. So I think it's not Luton. That's all I'm going to go out on a limb and say. Luton are not getting relegated. You heard it here first.
Yeah, I think Forest, Everton...
If I had to go out on a limb...
I think Forest, Everton and Palace are all going to be fine. Barring point deductions for Forest and...
Who did you say? Forest,
Everton and Palace.
Oh, so you think it could be Brentford? Brentford or Luton?
Brentford or Luton. And for me, Brentford is sat on 29 points though. So Brentford have got to pick up no points and Palace have got to pick up 5.
I think it could be Forest.
Sorry, Luton got to pick up 5.
Yeah, I think it's Forest. I've gone out there. I think it's Forest. Luton are going to finish 17th.
I'm going to say... It's going to go right down to the wire.
It's going to be naughty. And
Luton to finish 18th. Forest to get a point deduction. Luton's out.
Jeez.
100%. Called it here first.
You love to see it. Let us know in the comments who you think will win the Premier League title and who the 3 teams that get relegated are. We don't really care.
We know it's going to be Burnley.
Yeah, we don't care about the bottom 2.
Who's going to be the final relegated team? Guys, if you do want to check out, cop some football shirts, go to classicfootballshirts.com. .co.uk?
Don't really know.
Can't remember now. Classic football shirts.
Yeah.
Go over to the website.
Use the link in bio. You don't even need to know the web address.
Link
you need to
in
use
the description. Yeah. Use BoreDraw 10. Save yourself a little 10% off at checkout, and we get a little kickback for it, which will go into some upcoming set renovations that we've got going on. So I'll be very much appreciated. And yeah, there's a lot of content coming up over the next few weeks, few months. Yeah. So be subscribed. Make sure you are subscribed. Comment down below and like, so you stick about. Hit the noti bell as well, so you're notified of all our content, because it's always good stuff. Anything to add?
Nah, yeah, just follow us on all our socials. Check out all our other videos. We've got a Champions League video out, so make sure you've watched that, because we've got some juicy games coming up. We're recording this before the Champions League. Arsenal tomorrow night. Big game.
Big game.